this is just another video tutorial on how I made my All About Feathers block. I've already done this one, so there won't be a lesson, just this video. Now this is how I made my template for my vase. I'm not thrilled with my vase, but it is what it is. This was my first block ever, so this was really basic. But anyway, I took a piece of paper and I folded it in half, and then I drew half of my vase on that. Kind of how we used to draw our hearts in elementary school. But so yeah, this is just a rough sketch. So I just drew half of what my vase is, and I'm gonna cut it out. Fancy scissors. But yeah, and now once we cut it out, both sides will be identical. You won't have to worry about one side being longer or shorter than the other. This is how I got it to be the dimensions exactly the same on both ends. So I open it up, it's a little bit different than my original, but that's how I got my vase. You can make yours completely different on the sides, but that's how I did mine. I'll set this aside. Now I'll take my template, and I'm going to show you on my block that I've already finished, but I laid it right on top and traced around it with my friction pen or my graphite pencil, whatever marking utensil you choose, and that got my vase on there. And next, what I did when I made my block was I made my grid. I think these were 1/4 inch apart, 1/4 and 1/2, I can't remember right now, but that's how, you know how to do the grids. And then I did my circles all the way around my vase, or pebbles, circles or pebbles. Did that all the way around, and then I echoed back by putting another line around those, and back down. Next, I drew the vine part, the center part of my feathers. I drew that out on my block where I wanted my feathers to be, all the way down. And I picked a spot on one of those curvy little vines to start my next one. And then I started my feathers. I kept in mind that I wanted to put feathers, the opposite way also. And I put circles inside of those stems. That was kind of a last minute decision, if you can tell. When I went all the way down, I went down one way, and then when I came back up, I made sure to make my stem off a little bit. And then I put pebbles or circles inside of that. Gave it a little bit more dimension. And I'm just going to show you real quick on my sewing machine how exactly I did that. And it's, this is just a practice piece of material. It's nothing fancy, and I'm just kind of doing it fast just for the sake of the video. It was kind of hard to hang on to the material too because it was so small. So please don't mind the not perfect design. It's just kind of to show you how I went about doing those feathers. And I'm just going to do my stems. I'm sorry, I had to get my pencil. This is a regular pencil. I would not use a regular pencil on your material. Use a marking pencil, but since this is just for practice and I'm showing you how I did it, I just grabbed whatever was close. So kind of have an idea where I want my feathers to be. So this is how I did my stems with those pebbles in them, all the way around, and then I bounced back. I did not follow exactly. I went off of my line. That way I had a space to put those pebbles in. See how I just bounced right back to do the other side. And same thing, leave some space to put those pebbles in. And we'll go back down here and do the last little one I stitched. And back down. And real quick while I'm doing this and stitching this, if you go back to the beginning of the video and look at the block, I'll post pictures also, but you'll notice I had kind of a braid border right on the outside of these feathers. I forgot to mention that earlier in the video. I believe I do have a video in the pinned post, excuse me, on doing the braids, so you'll have to check that out. Again, I'm sorry I didn't say anything about it in this video. I completely forgot about it until just now. Yes, right now I'm going to show you how I did my pebbles. So how I left those marks in my my vine or stem, whatever you want to call it. And I just kind of put pebbles in it up until they got kind of too small to do, and then I moved on. And put some more. You can do this in any order you want to do this. If you want to do your feathers first instead of these pebbles, that's completely up to you, because there will be some traveling. So as you'll notice right here, I'll do my feathers, and I'll do those all the way up the spine. And if you wait to do your pebbles, when you get to the end of the spine up here to the little curl, you could do your pebbles in the stem as you travel back down to the bottom where you started your feathers, instead of just traveling on the line. I guess it would eliminate a step. However you want to stitch it. This is just basically how I did it, I guess. And keep in mind, you have the other lines drawn on your quilt. You don't want to get too close to those, because you will be putting more feathers in. As you can see on the top right there, I will be putting more feathers in there, so I didn't want to get my feathers I'm currently working on too close to that line. And so I'm traveling all the way back down, and now I'm going to do the other side of that spine. And that's where I said you could have done the pebbles on your way down instead of before you did the feathers. And then you travel back down again and move on to your next section. And you could do different feathers too. You could do those tooth-shaped plumes. You could do, you know, any type of feathers. Here, I did some feathers right here, or plumes, and then I went straight into the pebbles. So, I mean, any order you want to do them in is, I mean, it's your work. You do what works for you and what makes it comfortable for you and fun. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my little tutorial here, and I hope you can make this block, and good luck. And as before, if you have any questions, just ask. I'm here to help. And again, thanks for watching.